Hi everyone, welcome back. We'll be posting videos like recipes, bread making, tips and tricks, cake decorating, desserts, macarons, stuff like that. In the summertime, I do enjoy gardening, so I can just share some of that. Mini vlogs, just whatever. If you guys want something specific, you guys can comment that below. So yeah, also, I do apologize for this video because I totally spaced and I decided to do laundry day, same day I was recording, and I had the TV on full blast. So hopefully next video will be better, but I hope you guys enjoy. It is so cold outside. There's still snow on the ground. Gonna go do some grocery shopping really quick with my little boy. Today I will be sharing with you guys my sourdough bread recipe. I will be showing you how I make the circle loaf, and also I will be showing you this oval loaf. I will also be sharing 2 different baking methods. Look at that. Perfect bread. Perfect sourdough bread. Oh! You want some starter that's a little bit hungry. It went down a little bit. It had a rising peak and then it went down a little bit. So you want it when it's a little bit hungry. See, it went down a little bit, so you could tell it's ready to use. Look at that. So I'm gonna be making 4 loaves today. I don't have a bowl big enough, so I'm just gonna do 2 in each bowl. So we're gonna do 200 grams of sourdough. Next, we are gonna add warm water. So this is a double batch. I will be doing 700 grams of warm water each bowl. Next, we will need some salt. I use kosher coarse salt. We're gonna need 22 grams. We're gonna just mix it up a little bit. Mix the starter with water. I should really probably get one of those really big giant containers, or just one of those really big bowls. That way I could just do it all at once. Some flour. Make sure you get unbleached flour and you find a flour with a high protein content. I like this one because from all the local stores that we have here, this is the best what I find. So we're gonna need about 1,080 grams. And now we are going to mix it up. I'm gonna use this wooden spatula, and then whenever it gets too hard, I just use my hands. Okay, now we are going to cover it with some plastic wrap. Okay, it is very cold in my kitchen, so I'm actually gonna put it into a slightly warm oven for an hour. This is what it should look like. It's like very rough, bumpy, lumpy. It's been about an hour. And so now we're gonna do 3 sets of stretch and folds. And on the 4th time, we're gonna shape them and put them into our baskets, and then we will put them into the fridge overnight. I wanted to tell you guys also that sourdough doesn't have to be so complicated. I know that some people, they're like, oh no, you have to specifically only do it this way or specifically do it only that way. For example, for stretch and folds, sometimes I just take the bread and stretch it this way. I mean the dough, stretch it that way. And then I take it, stretch it, and do this. This is my method. I don't know if anyone else does that, but that's how I like to do it. There you go, there's a stretch and fold. Let's cover that back up. I honestly think it's easier in a way, but if you want to stick the traditional way, you basically just take one side, pull, stretch it, fold. Stretch, fold. Stretch, fold. Stretch and fold. And then I still like to take it and then just kind of make it into a tighter ball. I mean, that's already optional. That's just how I like to do it. See, still very happy. And then we're gonna cover it up. And this was the third stretch and fold. So we're gonna let this rest for like another 30 minutes to an hour. And then we will shape our dough. Put this back into a warm spot, especially if your kitchen is very cold. My kitchen is super cold. My feet are about to freeze off. I need to go put some slippers on. That's off topic. Anyway, yeah, so make sure your bread dough is warm. You could just put your oven on proof for a few minutes and then turn it off. Open the door, make sure it's not too hot in there, and then you can put your balls in there and let them sit in there. It's time to do shaping. I did 3 stretch and folds. Now, take this and we're gonna split it in half. Each loaf is gonna be about 1,000 grams. Okay, I don't have one of these covers for this one, so I just make sure to put enough flour on here, that way it doesn't stick to it. While I'm doing this last piece of bread shaping, I wanted to share some words of encouragement. Maybe there's someone else going through the same situation. I was telling my husband, I was like, I feel very discouraged. I keep praying and I just feel like none of our answers or none of our prayers are getting answered. And I was like, you know what? Let's go to church. It was middle of the week. Whenever the preacher starts preaching, it was like, me and my husband both look at each other. I'm like, wow, we were meant to be here. We were meant to hear this. And so basically the preacher was saying, wait and surrender everything to God and everything you do. Okay, I got all of these prepped. I am just gonna cover them with some saran wrap. We're gonna put them in the fridge overnight, at least 12 hours, and then we will bake them tomorrow. Kids don't have any school today, so they're just having fun outside.
We're making an igloo and Lucas is making for a snowball fight.
You guys are making an igloo?
Right here, and then over there Lucas is making a fort for an igloo.
Okay. Oh, that's cold. Oh, that wasn't...
You gotta make it more compact.
Yeah, I know. I don't have gloves on, so it's very cold.
Here, I'll make you a snowball. We're basically just doing this.
Yeah.
Okay. Mom, can you stop video taking us?
I just want a little video. Thank you.
Can you stop
Oh,
Too far.
I can't aim with holding the phone with one hand.
It is time to bake our bread. It's been more than 12 hours. The bread has been sitting in the fridge. The first baking method I will be showing you guys is with a Dutch oven. First thing you need to do is preheat your oven, or more like put these in the oven and preheat while the Dutch oven is in there. So you're gonna preheat at 425 degrees convection. If you don't have convection mode, then just 450 is fine. So let's put these in the oven and let them preheat. Gonna need some parchment paper. So this one, it did kind of get stuck a little bit, so all you have to do is just gently push it back a little bit, just like this. See? Voila! Okay, I just took my Dutch ovens out of the the oven. So you see how dark they are? They are very hot. Make sure you cover your hands. One time I just took it with my hand, and so yeah, that was not very fun. Make sure you don't do that. Let's take the lids off. Now let's go ahead and put our bread in. You can rip off the extra parchment paper. Second one. And so what I actually like to do is grab a few ice cubes, put it in there. That way the bottom of the bread doesn't get burnt and it'll create steam. It'll give you a nice crunchy outer layer. So just into the Dutch oven, not on the bread, just like behind the parchment paper. Cover it back up. And we put it in the oven for 30 minutes. Then we will take them out, take the lids off, and bake for another 10 to 15 minutes. We're in the oven. Ow, that's still hot. Yeah, don't touch that either. Let them bake for 30 minutes at 425 degrees convection mode, or you could do 450 degrees, just the regular bake mode. Okay, take off the lids. Now we're gonna put it back in for 10 more minutes and it'll be nice and golden brown. All right, so it's been another 10 minutes without the lid on, and I just want to show you what it looks like. So if you want it more brown or more golden, you can leave it in for another 5 to 10 minutes. This is already on just personal preference. The second method that I'm going to do is just with this big sheet pan. I'm not sure what size this is, but this is almost the full oven's length size. So we're just gonna put it in. And then we're gonna need one more sheet pan. This is the quarter sheet pan size, I think. So we're just gonna put this in and we're gonna let that preheat. While the pans are preheating, we're gonna go ahead and get these two breads ready, or doughs, whatever. Oh, this bread is still very warm. Ah, I can't cut straight. Like it's still steaming hot. Look at all those little air bubbles. Look at that. It's perfect. The other bread out of the oven. Here we go. Look at how good that looks. Show you the bottom. Okay, this is still hot, so let's cut into it. Look at how good that looks. It's still steaming hot, fresh out of the oven. Watch this. Here is the loaf, the oval loaf, and here is the circle loaf I did. They rose the same. Doesn't matter if you use a Dutch oven or you just put it into the oven with water to create the steam. Both ways are good. That concludes our video of how to make sourdough bread.